Hi, I'm Jill with DisArt, and I am here today with Liz Bartlett and Alexis Troxel as part of our Changing Imagination series, where we look at the ways in which DisArt Festival and the work of DisArt is changing the perceptions that people have about disabilities in our community. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today and telling a little bit about your story. If you could just tell us maybe a bit of a background about how you got involved with DisArt.
Sure. Well, I teach at Kindle, and I was given a new course that had never been taught before called Garments for Action and Function. And it was an interesting course. My background is actually in 3D knitting in applications for a variety of industries. But we tackled one specific problem as the key project for that course, and that was a collaboration with Spectrum Health Innovations to create cut and sew compression garments for children with cerebral palsy, but to make them fun and tailored to their personalities. So that was the project, and the way we collaborated with DisArt is the projects that the students made were then modeled by the children they were made for at a DisArt fashion show.
Yeah. Alexis, were you part of that fashion show then?
I was. I designed for 4-year-old Jason. He has cerebral palsy and he has severe mobility issues. He walks with a walker, so that was the first challenge. And being a fashion major at Kendall, we've never been exposed to our clients, I guess, that we're designing for. Typically it is just a fashion-oriented and fashion-forward course. So this was a completely life-changing experience, I would say, to work for somebody not only with disabilities, but of his age group, and just having to work through some of his tantrums and some of the things that you don't expect from, clients that you're getting fittings from. And if he can't stand, you have to work around that.
So it's fascinating to me that Spectrum was already working with Kendall on this, and then it just created this great opportunity to be part of the festival. And what did you see at that fashion show? I mean, that wouldn't have been possible with just the collaboration with Spectrum, but what about that fashion show? I mean, I think it affected people in lots of different ways.
Well, there were other collaborations from Open Style Lab at MIT, and I think that provided just another example to the students at Kindle and to everyone in the community who was a part of that fashion show, the different ways a garment needs to be altered for different abilities, and the fact that that people exist who maybe can't zip up their jacket as easily as we can, but that doesn't make them any different. That doesn't mean they don't still want to look good.
You have a garment here.
Yes, this was actually non-colored prototype that Jason ended up wearing in a very colorful way. This was the smallest garment I've ever made, but it was just an eye-opening thing to see how fabric choice even could affect the way that they're putting these on, wearing them. You don't think about how a zipper or a seam can affect somebody wearing it all day, but if he needs to wear these under his clothes, that was a huge thing.
So what did you notice about, I know this opportunity came about, but how did things change once DisArt became part of the conversation? I mean, because you were already doing this with Spectrum Health, right? So there's already been an identified need. So what's the component that you would attribute to DisArt?
Oh, well, that they included the whole community. It wasn't just me, the students, and Spectrum. It was me, the students, Spectrum, DisArt, and everyone in the community who was part of that. It happened at a very unique time because I started getting requests from other healthcare industries, for example, prosthetic limbs. And I got a call from someone who worked there and wanted me to create a liner for their prosthetic limbs, and something that was more comfortable and more accessible. So I was really excited by that, and especially when I further learned that these liners can sometimes cost so much money that people who are amputees go without it. So all of these things happening all at once led me to the decision to leave my job and start my own business. So which is Knit It, as in how will you knit it? And I have now a long list of potential clients and a proprietary project that I'm developing in-house. And I'm very excited to bring on Alexis as my intern next semester. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for both of us. And I'm very excited to work with DisArt on projects in the future because I'm making this my focus. Actually, I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, which is, rumored to be one of the best school for fashion in America, but never did I accomplish a project like the one with DisArt that Alexis got to be a part of. So, just a little ad for Kindle, I guess, because they're like the little design school that could, because they're doing big things for the community, and I really respect that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both. It's a pleasure to spend some time with both of you, and I appreciate you being part of our Changing Imagination series.
Thank you.